homicide. None of my niggas scared to shoot. All my niggas down the route, be ready when we spit at you. We gon' be so close at 9, set me off that 45. Something we call homicide. Set me off the 45. Something we call homicide. None of my niggas scared to shoot. All my niggas down the route, be ready when we spit at you. We gon' be so close at 9, set me off that 45. Something we call homicide. It was on a Saturday, I was smoking that Mary J. Hit some weed off in my system. Know this nigga bout to pay me all my cheese. If he don't, I'ma break his knees. Beat him down to the ground because he did not pay my cheese. Stop him up just like a bitch. Fucking your car, grab a stick. Beat him down.
We have some major breaking news right now. Louisiana has just reported the first ever human death from the H5N1 bird flu in the United States of America. The Louisiana Department of Health just made this announcement saying that the general threat to the public still remains low, given the fact that this individual who tragically passed away was over the age of 65 and had prior medical conditions. The Department of Health is, however, warning that individuals who have had contact in recent weeks with livestock, like cows, that those individuals may be at higher risk for contracting bird flu in the United States. There has been a massive egg recall across the country as well, given the fact that there was bird flu found in a number of eggs, causing prices of eggs to really skyrocket. Now, my thoughts and my prayers are with the family of the person who passed away today in Louisiana. It is absolutely devastating, and I want to reiterate before conspiracies start to spread that the threat to the public still remains low. Comment below your thoughts, spread the word, and follow along for all the news you need to know about. We have some big news right now concerning the certification of the electoral votes. Vice President Harris and Congress have officially certified the results of the 2024 election. Donald Trump earned 312 electoral votes. Kamala Harris earned 266 electoral votes. He needed 270 to win, and he got his 270. Now, a couple points to be made. Number one, Democrats did not object to the results of the election. There was not one single objection lodged, in contrast to 2020. There were no efforts to overturn the results of the election. There was no incitful of any mob to march to the United States Capitol, to storm the Capitol, or to disrupt the counting of the electoral votes. And Vice President Harris did her job and certified the results of the election. All of that happened, and it was in stark contrast to what happened in 2020. There was no fanfare. It was pretty quick, actually. It only took about 30 to 40 minutes to get through this entire process, and it was a return to the ways of certifying elections in the past, all pre-2020. Any questions, comment them below. And as always, follow along, stay updated on all the news you need to know about. This isn't breaking news, folks. It shouldn't be breaking news. This is a normal process.
In case many of you aren't aware by now, the assistant district attorney here in New Orleans decided to off himself. Not even a week has gone by since this incident on Bourbon Street. But now he decided he don't want to be here anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Something does not feel right at all, because didn't they say that the other guy out there in Vegas had a self-inflicted gunshot wound? Is there something someone is trying to relay? Are these people actually doing this to themselves? This is a question I just have to ask. And I could be wrong. TikTok, I'm not trying to say, leave no misinformation or none of that. It's just a question. That's all it is. But we find it strange that these things are popping along. And I got to ask a question for all the people out there. When they raided that man's home in Houston, right? And this woman just walked through there, which I never thought the FBI would just leave the crime scene open for no reporter to go in. That's one thing. But then I just recently learned that 2 months prior to this occurring here in New Orleans, that the FBI in Houston raided another home who's supposed to be ISIS affiliate. Yeah. And they found, I guess, bomb-making materials in that apartment as well. But we were never informed about that. Something big is, something's fishy. I'm just putting it like that. Something ain't right about none of this. I'm just waiting on the coming weeks to see if I hear anything else.
Which is why what's being force-fed to the public is the false narrative that people like Luis Elizondo and others want the public to hear, that it's an alien threat. Because two things that this group wanted to do in the 50s. They wanted to keep the technologies away from the public, and they wanted to develop it for themselves through reverse engineering and capturing more ET vehicles. But the other part of it was to begin this psychological warfare program that the CI director refers to in 1953. so that people would become convinced that there's a threat that would unite the world, not in peace and prosperity, but in this fearsome battle between Earth and other worlds. And who benefits from that? People say, why would they do that? I said, of course, think about how much the military-industrial corporate warmonger complex makes. It's very profitable. Now you would take it and put it on steroids.
Shannon Rainsford, you got the whole world watching, buddy. So this is the man that shot down the drone. This is his latest update. Check it out.
Hey, I just wanted to update you guys on what's going on. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to keep this thing in my possession. There are so many things that I would love to share with you, but I can't because of my safety. And for everyone that thinks this is a joke, that's great. I wish that everyone did think it was just a joke, but it's not. But I'm not going to be out here zooming in on it, taking photographs, putting it on the internet, and have these people that are coming for me. I won't last 24 hours. And if you guys can't understand that I'm having to do this for my safety, then you're just thinking about yourself, you know? I mean, this is not a game. This is not a joke. I know people hear stuff all the time, but I'm in this shit now.
So whether this is real or not, this is one of the most interesting stories that I have seen, and I'm invested. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
What did I tell you all about that Sean Ryan podcast? Okay, be careful with the information that is being pushed to people on the internet. For the last week, everybody and their mother has been talking about this Sean Ryan podcast and the people he's having on that show, how they are military intelligence, CIA assets, and they are breaking news on what's going on behind the scenes of our government. But how many times have we seen this script? How many times have we seen people on the internet tell us, I know exactly what's going on with the government and I am going to tell the world? Most of the time, this information doesn't go anywhere. And if it was real information that would paint the government in a negative light, I guarantee they would never be able to talk about it on a podcast. So when y'all were sending me these clips of the soldier, you know what I mean, reading that manifesto and talking about everything that the Green Beret was dealing with before he drove that Cybertruck to Trump Tower, I took a while to respond to it. I went and watched the episode. I actually read the manifesto y'all were talking about. I had to see what y'all were seeing and try to figure out if it made any sense to me. Long story short, it didn't, which is why I made the video the other day talking about that podcast not really helping the situation that we're in. People are not getting more information on what's going on. Everyone is just scared and confused. It's a very natural feeling that everybody is having in America right now. So if someone comes along and says, hey, I'm in the military and I heard about these drones being from China and the government releasing gravity drones and we're about to be in World War III, when you have people already in a very fragile emotional state, they will believe you no matter what. But now the guest on that podcast, the man who said he was sitting on this manifesto for 2 to 3 days before allegedly, feeling compelled to share it with the world, is saying that it might not be true. He's going, I might have had a bit of a mental break and, I might not have known what I was thinking. I mean, he really is telling people publicly that he does not believe everything that he read in that manifesto that people are sharing all over the internet right now. I'm telling y'all, some of these podcasts, especially the ones structured like Sean Ryan's, are meant to feed the base of these people who will never try and get real information. They are all in on the conspiracy. And don't get me wrong, I love a good conspiracy, all right? I love unpacking information and trying to figure some things out, maybe drawing conclusions that other people have not been able to draw. But there has to be a limit at some point. There has to be a point where the ideas that we have as individuals meet the information that's presented to us in order for us to be able to discern what is and is not credible. If we don't take time to think like that, we will just run with the first bit of information that we think is compelling. everybody ran with this idea that the dude was truly sharing the soldier's manifesto, and the soldier was afraid that the government was trying to start World War III. It's dangerous to spread information like that because, for one, people are unwilling to have honest conversations about what goes on in our country. So all I'm saying is, just like with the election, when you see these type of podcasts pop up and everybody is talking about them and everybody is saying that this is the truth they don't want you to hear, please do some of your own research. That's all you have to do. Don't be so quick to jump off the deep end, because a lot of times these people don't even mean the stuff that they say.
I'm starting to wonder if the crazy houses was full of people who actually made a lot of sense. Because I think a lot of y'all would have us locked up with jackets on for telling the truth we tell if it wasn't so spread across the internet. It's like the internet is kind of helping some of us, because these people would have us locked up, y'all. They would think we gone crazy. Because y'all know in everyday life, when you wake up to knowledge and you know the truth, that people look at you like you crazy, but they know the truth too. And that's what's so crazy. It really goes to show you how evil people can be. Shalom.
So nobody's talking about how the two Harvard students used Meta's Ray-Ban special glasses and figured out that you could dox people in seconds. When you look up, they literally went around looking at people. So they got something called iX-Ray, iPIMS. It's an app, right? It's a tool extension of the glasses. So it allows you to put people's face in the frame on the glasses, and it'll instantly pull up addresses, your phone number, your name. It could even pull up where you work and what type of work you've done. And no one's talking about this. Now, I'm a gamer, but I'm not like a super gamer. You know what I'm saying? But this is Watch Dogs in the flesh. And like a few years ago, Black Mirror showed us that this was a possibility. Similar to Star Trek showing you FaceTime was going to happen before it happened, Black Mirror and Watch Dogs have now officially done the same thing.
I don't know who this for, but if the country shuts down again, you guys do realize that that's not a good thing. That's not a vacation, okay? You're not going to get a stimulus check. Not again. You're not going to get another one. There's not going to be another PPP loan sent to your ass, okay? It's not going to be a vacation, all right? It's not going to be a time for you to get summertime fine. It's not going to be time for you to just relax and chill. Our country is going down, all right? It's going down. You're not going to get shit. You better hope to God that our country doesn't shut down again. That you will be picking your own fruit. You will be picking your own fruit. Good percentage of y'all on this bitch talking about, yeah, hell yeah. Y'all motherfuckers ain't growing shit. You're not growing anything. Y'all barely growing y'all own hair. We know you're not making no gardens. We know you're not growing anything. Y'all probably not sewing. Y'all probably don't know how to make a loaf of bread. We know that you don't know any survival skills. Quit thinking that if our country shut down, that it's going to be a good thing. It won't be. This will not be a rebrand of 2020. This shit going to look like Mad Max if our country shut down again. Okay? Get y'all shit together. Get y'all shit together.
Really haven't had a suicide bombing in the United States ever. There's the Nashville guy.
Why is it she spoke about sitting in traffic? Why is she talking about sitting in traffic? Why didn't she talk about shipping and receiving? Why didn't she talk about the tunnels? Why she didn't talk about the wristbands that they found out over 80,000 wristbands because they were sitting in traffic, shipping and receiving, material handling. Why she ain't told y'all about how shipping and receiving, the dock to receive and ship out there in the port of Miami is about 100 miles away from a lot of famous icons. shipping, receiving, and sitting in traffic. Why she didn't say nothing about the process of online shopping?
No, we really have.
Alexa, can you repeat that, please?
It is believed that April Fools started in 1582 when France switched from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar. The Julian calendar began the new year on the spring equinox around April 1st. People who failed to recognize that the start of the new year had moved to January 1st were called April Fools.
Alexa, where did April Fools come from?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, it is believed that April Fools started in 1582 when France switched from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar. The Julian calendar began the new year on the spring equinox around April 1st. People who failed to recognize that the start of the new year had moved to January 1st were called April Fools.
So, Mark Zuckerberg announced that he's getting rid of fact checkers from Facebook and implementing basically the same thing that Elon Musk implemented on X, which is community notes that the users, I guess, get to put in. To that I say, why do they have such an aversion to facts? I remember when, what's his face? I forgot he's even a daggone VP. Oh my God, JD Vance. I remember when Vance was debating and when even President-elect was debating during the campaigns and stuff. They kept saying, oh, you said you weren't going to fact check. You said you weren't going to fact check. Are you freaking joking? Are facts not important? No. We don't care no more. Facts. You know what? The answer is no. Actually, now that I heard myself ask it out loud, they don't care about facts. I heard myself ask it, and now so no fact checking. Community notes. Jesus Christ, honestly.
Hey, what's up, America? Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark Zuckerberg has recently released a video saying that fact checkers are too politically biased. They fucking had systems that were removing content, made millions of mistakes. They're sorry about it, and they're implementing free speech systems to stop taking down political and civic speech. So Mark Zuckerberg admits that he worked with the government to take down content. He admitted that his systems at Facebook and Meta purposely took down political content. He worked with fact checkers, admitting that they removed millions of videos that didn't need to be removed, and also banned millions of accounts unnecessarily. Yeah, so imagine all those years of work you put into making content to be banned because you were a hate preacher, only to find out it was fact checkers that were left-wing and left-leaning that wanted you down because Orange Man bad. So now I'm wondering if YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and all of them do the same thing. I know they do the same thing. Look at how they treat you on this app. So like I said, now after destroying your work and your livelihood for the better part of a decade, all of a sudden they're going to roll it back. It's time for a new era of free speech. Yeah, fuck you. I want lawsuits. Some of you assholes have taken down 8,000 to 10,000 videos of my content. I don't want fucking it to be a new era. I want blood. I want money for what you've done to me, you fucks. Lawsuits are coming. On top of that, the people that have purposely tried to ruin me, I already have lawsuits going right now for you. Paperwork is in the mail. It's coming to you, and you assholes know who the fuck you are. You called down the thunder, bitch? Well, you're about to get it.
A lady from Michigan seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, by the direction of the House Republican Conference, I send to the desk a privileged resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution 13, resolved that the following...
They don't let them read it out loud.
I ask unanimous consent to dispense with the reading.
And just put it on.
Without objection, the resolution is agreed to and the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Okay, that's Michigan, Republican.
What purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, by direction of the Democratic Caucus, I offer a privileged resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
Both of them are doing this on behalf of their caucus.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution 14, resolved that the
Mr.
following...
Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be considered as read.
And don't
Without
look,
objection, the
consider it as
resolution
read.
is
Don't
agreed
actually
to
read
and the
it.
motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Look at that. What is that? What is that?
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Michigan seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that when the House adjourns today, it stands adjourned until 11 a.m. tomorrow, January 7th.
They're coming back tomorrow, honey. What's that?
Without a...
They're coming back tomorrow.
For what purpose does the gentlelady from Michigan seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do now adjourn.
Did anybody else notice this? Did anybody else get really weirded out? Kamala gave a press conference after certifying the election. She kept calling our country a democracy. She's protecting democracy. That was her whole speech. I'll play you some parts of it here in a second. But we're a constitutional republic, so what is she talking about?
At one of the most important pillars of our democracy, I do believe very strongly that America's democracy, the willingness to fight for and respect the importance of our democracy. And today, America's democracy stood.
After the last 4 years, I honestly am always waiting for the other shoe to drop, so I hope I'm just overthinking it, but I just found it kind of strange. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I mean, why is she repeating over and over again that we're a democracy, and what does she mean by it? Let me know what you think down below. And I am not trying to be negative. I want to know everybody else's opinion on this.
Do you guys remember Palestine, Ohio, where the train wreck happened and there's this big cloud that encompassed 3 entire states surrounding it? People were dying, animals were dying, fish were dying because the water was all polluted. It was snowing, but it wasn't real snow. Like the snow wouldn't melt. There's thousands of videos on TikTok, which
people try to light it up.
Yeah, they would actually melt the snow in their hand with a lighter, and it would actually shrink and turn black, and it smelled like burning plastic. The rain would even look like chemicals. The rain would fall on people's cars, and there was this oil stain on people's cars from just rain. Because TikTok kept on showing up more and more thousands of these videos of people showing that their loved ones died. The government finally sent hazmat people out there for like a brief day or something, and then the hazmat people came on the news and said, yeah, there's nothing to see here. This is all just made up. Well, more people kept dying, so they sent out more hazmat people and said, okay, yes, there's some people dying out here, but there's nothing to see here, folks. It's all part of the show. It seems like it's happening again. The train was probably carrying their smart dust stuff. You know, it is weird. There was actually a movie made. It was made in Palestine, Ohio, about a train derailment and chemicals being leaked. So, yeah, I guess it was planned. It wasn't a mistake.
They tried to erase this from history. But why? Okay. So imagine this, right? Back in the day, you'd look up and you'd see blimps and zeppelins floating around like something out of a steampunk dream. Then suddenly, they're gone. Almost like they never existed. But here's where it gets wild. Some people believe it was all tied to a hidden empire called Tartaria, a civilization that was supposedly way more advanced than we've been taught. And when it came time to cover it up, the skies in old photos were allegedly painted over to hide airships and whatever else didn't fit the official story. And then there's what happened to people who wouldn't play along. Theory goes that anyone who didn't buy the new story or remember too much was labeled as crazy and locked up in a mental institution. And it wasn't just them. They'd even take their kids and put them on trains and scatter them across the country. The idea was to break up families and erase memories and make sure there was no one left to question the new narrative. But why go through such extremes? Was it about control? Maybe suppressing tech, knowledge, or history that challenged what we're allowed to believe? Whatever the reason, guys, it really makes you wonder, what else have they hidden and why? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, follow, and share.
Everything We Know Is a Lie, part 10,302. The real New Year's isn't January 1st. It is actually allegedly, TikTok, allegedly, an energy harvesting and a celebration that pays homage to the ancient Roman god Janus. Before we get into it, guys, make sure y'all follow my YouTube. I'm gonna link it above just in case TikTok actually gets banned. I'm about to blow your mind. If you haven't heard it, my daughter's playing on her little toy. Don't mind her. If you haven't heard about this, Don't feel bad, because I'm just finding this out today. Janus is the god of gates, beginnings and endings, transitions and time. And it even says in the Bible that the beginning of the year is not January, somewhere between March and April. As you can see right here from another creator, as you can see from the screenshot from another creator, you can look at the bottom left to go look at his video if you'd like. Just think about it. Thousands upon thousands of people fled to New York City in Times Square to watch this ball drop. And millions of people around America are celebrating this new year. On said new year, they are using their energy to make New Year's resolutions. Y'all know that biblically, we are supposed to have discipline every single day. And that lack of discipline is exactly why our resolutions usually last about 3 business days. We still have a fupa and we still munch on snacks in the middle of the night scrolling TikTok until 5 in the morning. Am I right? Okay. With that being said, energy is literally being harvested all around America for this day that literally actually isn't even the first day of the year. Just think about it. Nature literally tells us, why would the first day of the year not be in spring when everything is made new, but would rather be in winter when everything is cold and dead? And don't y'all find it funny that Janus has one head looking in the past and one head looking in the future? And when the ball drops, the fireworks go up and the ball goes down. And also, not for nothing, isn't Janus the god, quote unquote, of gates? Didn't the Pope just open up a door or portal or gate that people believe directly links to the spiritual realm? If y'all want me to get into that, I can definitely make a video on it, because it's crazy. I'm starting to understand why the Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate all these holidays, because it's literally rooted in things that are not of God. Not to mention, I'm just now finding out that there's supposed to be 13 months, not 12. And just to bring in a touch of conspiracy into this is all alleged TikTok, it's satire, it's a hoax, none of this is true. What about all the spikes in unalivings and car crashes and drunkenness that happens on New Year's Day? On top of them harvesting our energy, so many people are actually creating bridges between the spiritual realm and our realm by not being of sober mind and getting completely wasted and making the worst decisions of their life on this day. Y'all, we have got to open our eyes. In 2025, I'm questioning everything. As always, make sure you guys like and follow and comment down below what you think.
2025 is already off to a wild start. We just had this plane in South Korea run into a wall, ending the lives of 179 people. These tragic events just happened in New Orleans and New York over the past 2 nights. We still have drones flying around the New Jersey skylines. And we have this famous neurosurgeon telling us how to become superhuman, but it's getting swept under the rug by the elites. Watch this.
Most people, especially young people, probably don't realize that they're walking around right now at about 55%, maybe 60% of their true state of normal. There is a nutrient, an amino acid, a substrate, a compound, an element missing from their body that if they knew what it was, would make the difference between them being an average person and being a superhuman.
What supplement can I take? Don't end your sentence there, Gary.
So it's called L-methionine.
There's a ton of validity to what that man is saying, because Joe Rogan just came out on his podcast talking about the same amino acid and how celebrities have been using it for years to get ahead of the average man. Watch this.
I'll tell people about some stuff that I have no affiliation with. NeuroGum is one of them. We always keep NeuroGum in the studio. Yeah. We go through 4 or 5 fucking boxes of that stuff.
And you really, NeuroGum really works?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh wow.
It's got theanine in it and caffeine and a couple other things, and what it does is it enhances your memory. It enhances your brain's ability to form sentences.
Now what he's talking about is NeuroGum, the first product on the open market to mix natural caffeine and L-theanine together at once. And there's a ton of studies coming out showing that when you mix natural caffeine and L-theanine together at the same time, your brain enters the flow state. Now lucky for us, NeuroGum has just enough caffeine in it to release the theanine into our brain, entering your brain into that so-called flow state. And the best way to describe this flow state feeling to someone else who's never tried NeuroGum before is like all the little tabs in your brain closing up, but having hyper focus on that one task at hand. And the only negative of this product that I've been able to find is kind of the price. I bought 6 boxes of the new flavor over at CVS for $45 the other day, but the new flavor is now on TikTok Shop and it's only $21 on here with free shipping. So if you're anything like me and wanted to try it, please don't go buy it at CVS. I would grab it on the TikTok Shop linked right down below.
I was able to think freely and I wasn't stuck on this planning. I would say that the 400-year plan that y'all keep talking about started around the 1500s, and it's not actually 400 years, but whatever. We are in the year of 2016, 2017, you know, based on a Ethiopian calendar. And the Ethiopian calendar is like 7 to 8 years behind from the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar was created in October 1582, and it's missing 10 days. The Ethiopian calendar said that the new year started in September. October is right after September. And I feel like they was trying to like hurry up and match up with the Ethiopian calendar, because I do feel like the Ethiopian calendar is the original calendar now. But you have to ask yourself, what calendar did everybody have before the Europeans touched them? Because every person that the Europeans touched, they had a calendar either closest to theirs or a calendar as theirs, or the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar origin is in Europe, and the Ethiopian calendar origin is East Africa. Ethiopia, hello, like, hurry up. Some people still to this day have their own calendar, but some people don't have their own calendar, and it leads me to thinking, because I don't, what did America and everybody else have before the Europeans touched them, So anyways, back to the 1500s. So as they was able to get all of the information technology resources from everybody and their mama, they created a plan. And it was like, in order for this plan to work, we're going to have to, go based off of the original system. But we have to create our own system for this plan to work. So just like, our descendants said, there's nothing new under the sun. What happened was some of the stuff in the plan did not work. So what they had to do was get rid of some time and numbers and keep what worked and leave out what didn't, which is why 10 days is missing. And 10 is a very powerful number. 1 and 0 is a very powerful. Anyway, you look into binary code and figure out whatever. And mind you, 1500s is right around the corner from the 16 and the 1700s and so on and so forth, In the Ethiopian calendar, I forgot to say this. I think it was created in the 4th century AD to align with Christian theology, whatever. I just learned about that. So that's interesting. So what did they have before that? Anyways, I was being nosy in somebody's history, and somebody's missing like 100 to 1,000 years of history and information. And so it makes you wonder, are we making up for lost time, or are we repeating lost times through time numbers? Which is why I think fashion is very important and trends is very, very important. It's the number one ritual in distraction, which is why when, you look at people in the 16, 17, 1800s, wherever, whenever the camera was invented, you should look into that too. You think the people look homeless and resourceless, because they look homeless compared to today's time. But if you look closely, that was their luxury, and the architecture is the same. All they did was move the buildings. I didn't say that. New York still somewhat looks the same. Also, they destroyed a lot of stuff that, a lot of buildings and stuff that hold energy and information, but that's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna die anyway. What if I said that they had more advanced technology and information than us, and they destroyed it? Because we're repeating lost times. Which is why in 1999 they thought that we was gonna have flying cars, and we only have Lego cars, But anyways, I had a dream of, the 2100s and the 3, whatever the numbers are. Look, I'm not gonna live anyway around it. Maybe, I don't know. There was no difference. It was the same. It was disappointing. Just like these times look no different than last time, 1900s. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to me, I'm old. All y'all do is repeat the same thing all over again, and y'all mainly do it through fashion. It's a good ritual, it's a good spell, it's a good magic, But remember, a long time ago, they was just wearing cloths and leaves and stuff like that. I don't know, I didn't live around that time. But the moral of this story is, some of your greatest, their greatest, was obsessed with numbers and the simple stuff, letters, words, all of that stuff. They always spoke about 369. They created insanity doing the same rituals all over again every single day, trying to actually match up with the original time because it was hidden away from them. And when they got big enough, they had to eventually tell them the truth, and all of a sudden everybody gets, certain people get unalived, like today's time, when they find out the truth. But they were all obsessed with numbers. And a lot of people don't like astrology or numerology. They try to avoid it. They don't care about it. I do. But I don't know anything, But one more thing that I did not say, I didn't say it. What if the hundreds of thousands of years that are missing are actually the answer to the origin of how they got here and what happened to all of our people that used to be melanated, but, you hate black, whatever. We're never going to solve the problem, because in order to solve the problem, you have to go within the original computer, the original binary code, to get the answer, because we're all different. We all come from different species of whatever. Every single time you get close to finding out the answer, there are, natural disasters that are not whatever.
Why is this happening to me on a Monday?
This morning, a Waymo customer getting the runaround, literally.
This car is just going in circles.
On a mission to make his flight from Phoenix to LA, Mike Johns decided to order a Waymo, the self-driving rideshare service from Google.
Why is this thing going in a circle? I'm getting dizzy.
The malfunctioning car driving in a never-ending loop around the lot he was in.
At first, I'm thinking, no big deal. The second time, like, that's strange. The third time, what's going on? I feel like I really thought I was being pranked.
The voice of a Waymo representative eventually comes through the speakers.
We're currently working with the situation on the vehicle.
I got my seatbelt on. I can't get out the car. Has this been hacked?
Not only could Mike not stop the vehicle, but for some time, neither could the representative.
I don't have an option to control the car.
Oh, my
I'm really so sorry about this.
Well, can you stop this car?
I am trying to pull it over right now.
I can only imagine if it was a senior citizen, if it was a mom and the child or a dad and the child, like what would be in place then?
Waymo eventually fixing the issue and drove Mike to his destination in time for his flight. The ordeal lasting around 5 minutes. It drives better than you do, babe. The company officially launched its autonomous rideshare service in 2018 in Phoenix and has since expanded to Los Angeles and San Francisco. In 2023, our Becky Worley showed us how reactive the technology could be.
That motorcycle just cut right in front of us, and I handled it pretty well.
But there have been some issues. Last August, a group of Bay Area residents voiced frustration when Waymo vehicles navigating the company's parking lot wouldn't stop honking at each other. Some wild things. Waymo's website says that their mission is to be the world's most trusted driver, and they say the issue was fixed and addressed in a regularly scheduled software update. The company says that they've reached out to Mike. He says they haven't. It seems like Mike was a good sport about it, but really scary how that situation could end up.
None of my niggas scared to shoot. All my niggas down the route, be ready when we spit at you. We gon' be so pussy nice. Set me off that 45, something we gon' homicide. Set me